Welcome to the channel, Gaming Army. These two drops find us in our Thunderbolt. It is the Thunderbolt 5S-T, and that means it is the top dog hero mech variant of the Thunderbolt, complete with 30% C-bill bonus. Our first drop finds us playing Conquest mode on HPG Manifold. It is the HPG Manifold Classic map, and just to get this out of the way up front, if you feel the need for speed, you might want to look at a light or fast-moving medium, because this definitely is not a speed demon. Current builder has us going at a respectable 74.7 kph, but it is not a super fast mech. And likewise, for all of you that want to get in there and go ballistic, you need to look for a different chassis, because this has 9 laser hardpoints, no ballistics, but 9 laser hardpoints, and I've managed to fill each and every single one of those with a medium laser, so I have 9 medium lasers at my disposal. I'm rotating around to the right-hand side. Looks like our right side push has stalled out. I'm going to get a good burn in on that trebuchet who came around the corner, and it looks like a bunch of them have fallen back. They don't like the aggression and focus of our firepower, so I'm going to continue pushing in here to see how much work we can get done. We find a linebacker hiding around the corner, open up his CT before he wisely pulls back, and then I duck into cover here for a second. I want to dissipate some heat and kind of see what's going on the battlefield before I push in. Again, it looks like the enemy continues to fall back in the face of our aggression, so I'm going to keep that up. And now we have Hotel Thanatos. He took a good burn. He's still over here. Let's see if he wants some seconds, and he obliges by coming back in, and now his mech is a shambles. So he wisely dives back for cover, because if he stayed there again, probably one more alpha would have taken him out. And we push back his friend on the high ground as well. And that means I'm ready to push into the right again, keeping up the pressure on them. Going after the Thanatos, but he is taken out by a teammate before I can get to him. Quick snapshot on an assault mech, and then I realize that the Annihilator is clear out of my weapons range. It was a bad shot, it was just instinct, but I do see something there on the high ground. Just can't quite get the tippy top of his mech. There's a little chip damage. And now he's kind enough to start pushing up the ramp, exposing himself, so we'll get some shots on him. Timberwolf was open, CT, and a teammate is able to take him out. I did take some shots on my left torso, which I do have to be careful of because it's open. And now we'll focus on Kilo, who is getting murdered by missiles. We'll add some chip damage to him as well. And the missiles are able to take him out for the kill. And that frees us up to look for other targets of opportunity, like the Hunchback on the high ground. We'll get a couple of quick shots out on him. Looks like the Trebuchet has decided to come back into things, and he's trying to link up with an Assault Marauder in the low ground there, and we can't have that. A teammate takes out the Trebuchet. I'm going to focus this Marauder. He looks fairly fresh. He's open rear right torso. I do want to take one of his torsos because it looks like he is having some heat problems. Yes, he is shut down. He did restart, but if I can get that side torso off of him, that's going to mess up his ability to dissipate heat, and he shuts down again. Now I just need to follow through on center torso if I can, but I'll take the right torso as well, and we managed to get the kill on him. Now the Hunchback has come down off of his perch. Which was a mistake on his part. We're able to take out that right torso. There goes his AC-20, and then we burn through his center torso for the kill. I'm going to do a pause here on the ramp while I dissipate some heat before I push in on the Atlas. I see he's open right torso. We focus fire that and take away his AC-20 as well. Maybe this should be called the AC-20 killer. I don't know. I'm going to swing around to the right, try to get up this ramp, and unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on which way you look at it, Friendly missile fire takes out the Atlas before I can get the kill. So I'm going to push the Direwolf instead. He is in trouble. Half his mech is gone. CT is open, and the missiles manage to take him out for the kill. We have not been paying attention to the cap points in this match, so we win the battle and lose the war on caps. We do manage to finish this drop off with 2 kills, 852 damage done, 7 components destroyed. Moving over to our second drop, this finds us playing skirmish mode on Emerald Vale. We're moving over to the left side of our team because there's some enemy units that want to probe our left flank. So let's see if we can bring our weapons to bear and do some work on these flankers. And while we do this, let's talk about Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts in general, specifics on this particular mech and this particular mech chassis. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So starting out in the bad category, something you need to be aware of, Thunderbolts in general, they are a large, wide profile mech. So just be aware of that. You will make yourself a target on the battlefield because this is a very obvious mech and one that can be seen from quite a ways away being so large. The second thing you need to be aware of is Thunderbolts in general have a cockpit that is offset. It's offset to the left-hand side, and sometimes that throws a lot of pilots off for 2 reasons. Number one, up close, some of your weapons fire is going to be coming from that right-hand side, so the angle might not be what you're expecting. The second thing to be aware of is when you're piloting the mech, again, you're on the left-hand side, you still have quite a bit of mech off to your right, so you may find yourself getting caught up on buildings and other terrain because you're offset and you're not necessarily in the center of the mech. So all that being said, there are definitely some strengths this mech, this chassis brings to the table. We talked about 9 laser hardpoints, the 9 medium lasers, 74.7 kph, which is respectable movement for a heavy mech, and the fact that I have 19, yes, count them, 19 single heat sinks in this mech, that's all there to help mitigate the heat. And Alpha in this particular build throws out 42 heat, which means I can get 2 full Alphas out before I get into critical heat problems. Now that's further mitigated by the fact that I've broken up my weapons into 2 weapons groups, and I'm trying to stagger the shots to mitigate the ghost heat. Ghost heat kicks in anytime you fire over 6 medium lasers on this particular mech. So keep that in mind. Again, you can see through the gameplay here, I'm not really having troubles with shutdowns as long as I manage my heat scale. The 75 kph and good movement is actually a huge bonus in my mind on a mech this size. The biggest thing that I like about this mech is the damage output. The Alpha on this particular mech is 45 damage. It is repeatable. It's not dependent on ammunition, nor does it have something volatile like a Gauss rifle that can blow up. To put this in another perspective, 2 heavy Gauss rifles throw out 50 damage. The top dog is throwing out 45, repeatable for arguably, I would say, a longer amount of time on the battlefield. Another thing to check on this mech is the amount of protection, your armor. This has a max of 422 armor points. I'm utilizing 416.
Target
so that
destroyed.
means this is going to be on the tankier side of the heavy mechs. There's a lot of heavy mechs that don't bring as much protection to the battlefield. So please be aware of that it is a good overall mech. Hopefully that helps you guys with some decisions on whether or not to pick up a Thunderbolt, and specifically the top dog. Jumping back into this match, we did manage to blunt the enemy's push on our left side, keep that left flank protected. We also managed to wade in and get a nice kill on the Hellfire, as well as dealing some decent damage to the other enemy units. But now we've come down to hunting the pesky sniper who was shooting me earlier. I do have to pay attention to my mech at this point. I'm a little banged up, specifically that left torso is ready to pop, and my teammates have the enemy spotted. He's on the high ground. I figured he was over there somewhere. And it looks like they're applying some decent pressure. I'm not in position to help engage. I'm going to sit back and hope that my team can push him out of his sniping position. And with a little bit of luck, I'll be here to greet him. In fact, here he comes, Mr. Cougar with his twin ERPPCs. We'll get a shot off here, take that right leg, and now he's in a world of hurt. He is doing a bit of damage to us, but his left leg is ready to go, and we step up and are able to focus down the left leg and get the final kill of the match as well. So we finished this one off with 2 kills, 656 damage done, as well as 4 components destroyed.